Hola, mis queridos Munchkins. El día de hoy vamos a hablar sobre el pasado. Ya varias personas me han preguntado por este video, así que hoy finalmente vamos a hablar del pasado simple y pasado irregular en español. So I know a lot of people has problems with this, but today I'm going to explain you in a really easy way. And after that, you are going to be able to talk in past, simple and irregular, okay? I'm going to start explaining you how to create the conjugation for the simple and irregular, and from there I'm going to explain you what's the difference, okay? So let's start. Okay, well, in here now we have the conjugation, okay? If you can see in here, we don't have three as before. We just have the ones that we are going to use for the verbs ending with AR, and the other ones are going to have the same, R and IR. Remember that for those verbs that are irregular, you need to learn the entire conjugation, okay? Because some of them are going to change a little bit. And it's going to happen the same. We have a conjugation for the verb that ends with AR, and the other one is going to be the same for ER and IR, okay? So I'm going to give you an example just to refresh how to do it, okay? We have the verb cantar, so we are going to do it with both. If it's going to be a simple past, it's going to be canté. Yo canté. But if it's going to be the irregular, it's cantaba. Okay, so we have yo canté y yo cantaba. Now I'm going to give you one with this one. Comer. So we are going to have comí, comía. Okay? Well, that's pretty good. Now I'm going to teach you when to use one instead of the other. Are you ready? Okay, well, and I'm going to teach you when to use one instead of the other with really easy examples, okay? You're going to say, but they're in English. Yes, because I need you to understand. So, I want you to think for a minute, what's the difference between these four examples right in past, okay? So think about it. Yesterday, I went to my friend's house. I used to play with dinosaurs when I was a kid. What were you doing yesterday? I was teaching Spanish. And I was working while my dogs were sleeping. So think about it for a minute. Okay, now, well, even in English, you probably don't feel like you have different types of past, but it is, because in here we have four different, well, these two are a little bit more similar, but we have three ways to say things in past in English. So in here, we're using also what it will be the past, okay? But we don't have irregular past in English, that's why we get confused. But we have this, that is when, the past of the verb. Then we have this used to, that it will let us know that it's funny because like we used to do something, okay? It's not that we did it once and it was done. We used to do a specific activity for a period of time, okay, in the past. Then we have this that also it will explain that we were doing something in the past, but it wasn't just for a specific time and then it was done. It was longer, okay? And that's what is gonna happen in Spanish. So this, when it's that type of past, just the past that you use in English, that's gonna be the simple past in Spanish, okay? We're talking about a specific activity that happened in the past and it's done, okay? If you are not sure if it's done or not, you can just follow this. If you're using the past in English, but just this one, not this two, you're using this one, there is a super huge possibility it's gonna be simple past, okay? And the other ones that it was a let us know that you were doing something for a longer time, or is something that you used to do. You were doing something for like a longer period of time, or two things were happening at the same time. Those, it's gonna be with the other one, okay? So now what we're gonna do is gonna transform these phrases in Spanish, okay? And you are gonna help me. So I'm gonna erase this, and I'm gonna use another color, of course, so you can see it, okay? So yesterday, please let me know what's the word for yesterday. Does anyone know what's yesterday? We have hoy, today, tomorrow, mañana, and yesterday it's ayer, okay? Ayer. Ayer, and then we say that went is the verb go, okay? But the past for the first person will be fui. Remember that we skip the pronoun in Spanish, so we will just say ayer fui to my friend's house. Okay, remember that this my friend's house, the way to do it in Spanish, it will be fui a for the preposition, and then la casa de mi amigo. Okay? This is the simple past, okay? And I went, it's done, it's over, okay? And that's why I'm gonna use this one, okay? Next one, it's gonna be I used to play with dinosaurs when I was a kid. So in Spanish, we have also something that it will be kind of like the used to, and it's solía. Okay, but we also use the other past a little bit more. So, yo, what's the verb for play in Spanish? Someone? No? Jugar. Jugar. Okay, so yo jugaba con dinosaurios cuando the irregular form of was is era niña. Okay, we don't use cuando era una niña. We normally don't have to add this a in Spanish. So, yo jugaba con dinosaurios cuando era niña. We are using the irregular. If you want to use this solía, that some people use it will be solía, and this one is already in the irregular form, and then you just use jugar. So, yo solía jugar con dinosaurios cuando era niña, okay? So, I'm going to erase the first part. We have more space. So, you can see, okay, in here, it's done. In here, it's a longer period of time. We can use either solía or just the irregular form that we use a little bit more, okay? Now, we are going to work with this one. So, what were you doing yesterday? Vamos a hacer primero la pregunta. ¿Qué estabas haciendo ayer? Okay. So, in here, it's going to be a little bit similar like in English. We have to use the ing form or gerundive in Spanish. So we have haciendo, okay? Yendo. And the one that is going to be in irregular form is going to be the verb estar. Okay? Estabas is the irregular form for estar conjugated in the second person. ¿Sí? Okay, ¿qué estabas haciendo ayer? And to answer, estaba enseñando español. ¿Ok? Estaba enseñando español. Sometimes people will not use this part, and we will do this one irregular. So for example, it will be, ¿qué hacías ayer? ¿Qué hacías ayer? Enseñaba español. Okay, two forms. In one, we are using the irregular past plus the gerundive, and in the other one, we are just using the irregular form, okay? It depends. It doesn't matter one is better than the other. A lot of people use more this one, and in this one, remember, irregular form, the verb estar, and the rest is gonna be gerundive, okay? And we're gonna do the last one. That is gonna be this one, when we have two situations happening at the same time, okay? So I was working while my dogs were sleeping. Estaba trabajando mientras mis perros dormían. Okay. And you can see how in this case I'm using the verb estar in regular form, gerundive, estaba trabajando, I was working, mientras mis perros dormían. And this one, it will be the irregular form. Okay, you can also say, mientras mis perros estaban durmiendo. Mientras mis perros estaban durmiendo. Okay, you can also say it. But normally we tend to use the first one with the verb estar, gerundive, and the second part just irregular verb. Okay? And, well, that's everything about the past. To be honest, so the explanation, it's just that, but the real thing in how you are going to be able to get this really good is practicing, okay? So right now I already explained you what's the difference because that's what you need to know, but now the work you have to do is start practicing, okay? So for example, to practice the past that is with simple past, what you can do is you can, give a minute, you can write, for example, what did you do, what did you do yesterday? Okay, that's what you can do to practice simple past. Then to practice the irregular past, you can tell a story, or also when you talk about your childhood. Remember that this past is when you were doing something, okay, for a longer period of time. So when you use used to, when you want to say two things at the same time, okay, so probably you can tell a story about your childhood, okay, talk about your childhood. In the beginning, it's gonna be like practice with a specific situations, so you are getting used to, and eventually you are gonna be able to just like talk all the time with this times, because sometimes we use it a lot, like we use both, okay? Well, so this is the explanation for simple past versus irregular past, and now if I'm not wrong, I think the next video is gonna be about an interview. But after that video, I'm gonna do a video, and that is gonna be practice. I'm gonna tell you a situation that is gonna use the simple past, and in another one, I'm gonna use the irregular past. Okay? So that's all. I also said that this week I was going to do a live, but I'm really busy. So let's just leave it for next week, okay? And next week I'm gonna do a live, and it's gonna be mostly for present, okay? And then I'm gonna do another one that is gonna be past. So you can join that live, and you can leave me a comment if, I don't know, you have a specific question, or just you want to practice something. So that will be that. I don't have the date yet, but I will post it, okay? And that's all. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please let me know if you understood. If not, if you need something, like another video to clarify something, just let me know, okay? And well, that's all. Thank you so much, and I will see you in my next video. Ciao, munchkins!